All right, and welcome on into DMS Adventurers Tavern, where adventure is always on the menu. We are here for the conclusion or the campaign wrap-up of the Candlekeep Mysteries adventure series that we had going on, based on the Candlekeep Mysteries adventure book that came out. Our adventurers have made their way from level 1 all the way through the book. So okay, but before we see where this conclusion will lead us, just want to go over our normal weekly schedule, which of course is Candlekeep here on Mondays. Thursdays we have our Team 17 Gaming Thursdays at 3 p.m. On Fridays we have our Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and on Saturdays Tomb of Annihilation. Now, this week, there will be no streams due to the Christmas holiday. Next week is kind of still up in the air as to what exactly is going to be happening. But this week, this will be the only stream that we have. All right. So, and just keep on the lookout. There is much, much more fun to come after the new year. Well, let's just say there's going to be some interesting adventures in 2022. All right, so let's get over here to our Candlekeep page. We've got our adventuring party of Starflower, played by Cooper. We've got Orsic, played by Torque.
Hello.
We've got Bludger, or King Bludger, as it were, played by Ragnarok. We've got Rycanis, played by Steve.
Hello there.
We've got Hush, played by Bob. And we've got Larden, played by Andrew. Now, this adventure started several months ago. This campaign, I should say. Started on April 26th of this year. And yeah, so 4/26 to 12/20. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy indeed. But little did we really realize where this would end up taking us. From the entry, or from trying to figure out how in the world to get into Candlekeep at the first adventure, to being the saviors of Candlekeep by the end. Having dealt with everything from books attacking to opening portals to, well, one of, let's see, how do I word this? Going to a spa and finding out that things are not quite as they seem, to going to a lost temple and having to deal with golems and zombies, and dealt with a little bit of everything in this last in these 16 levels. But I do have a question for all of my players. I didn't really talk about this before, but when you started on this campaign, do you have any, like, how do I word this? Is it where you thought it would end up? Do you feel like your characters are where you thought that they would end up?
I didn't even have a plan, so yes.
Well, I mean, you have the name King Bludger. I think that's probably a plan.
That was not something I planned on. I kind of just wanted to try this barbarian build because it came out of Tasha's, and that wasn't AL legal for a while. But I liked the theme of the animal barbarian. I was like, yeah, I've never played one before. Let me go ahead and just do this. And I had no character other than looking for a book.
Okay.
And somehow it turned into
A whole thing.
a very much a whole thing.
Yeah, I think it did for me. Larden started low level alongside a group of adventurers who are about to go to tier 2. And so I wanted to play him as somebody who was going to come into his power and sort of his like adulthood really kind of come of age during the process of it. And he did, which is pretty cool. So he started from a guy who could throw a frostbolt to becoming a really strong, key part of the party, which was pretty cool.
Was doing at one point less magic damage than the barbarian with the ring.
Yeah.
But like you said, at the end, I think Larden was definitely more assertive. Especially when we started getting engaged with other NPCs and stuff. So yeah, he grew a lot. I thought he did a great job with him.
Thanks. Yeah. That was my hope. I wanted him to have that arc of sort of like, you guys are amazing, and like looking up to them, and then realizing that they're people, and then considering them to be family, all that. So
Torque on
a little bit of muscle tone.
Speaking of muscle, Torque is your artificer where you thought he would be story wise?
No, not really. He kind of went. I think being around the wizards and the different other magical things that he hadn't really been around much prior to coming to Candlekeep, he developed a little bit of interest in that field, in those fields, and learned a little bit more about himself. His original goal was, to build just armor, right? He wanted to build this mithril armor, and towards the end, he was actually more learning, magic ways and other ways that armor could be utilized. So no, he grew. He was close to what I was envisioning, but yeah, definitely some extras in there that turned out really well. I think the party dynamics really helped shape a lot of what he became. So really enjoyed it.
What about you, Cooper? Is Star what you thought when you first built her?
Nope. Like, I don't even remember this, but Star's whole reason that she was kicked out of the Feywild because her brain went too far for them to handle. So, and her ways to come to Candlekeep was to fire a boat to appease them, to basically as an apology. Not go on to adventures with these randoms.
I think honestly, this is probably the least bullshit character Cooper currently plays with me. This is like the most normal person that you have with me currently, because you actually stayed the same class the whole time. There was no multi-classing. There's no, random stuff like that. But that's awesome. What about you, Steve? What is Rycanus what you had thought when you first made them?
No, I honestly didn't know which way I was going to go. My first deal was either a full-on life domain, but then I saw the war and I was like, hey, that sounds fun. So I went with the war domain cleric and didn't really have a path. It's actually you guys helping me out playing him. That was a lot of fun too.
Nice. What about you, Bob? Is Hush the monk that you had hoped for when you made them?
Well, actually, Hush has a very simple backstory, I guess. He's essentially a servant to a master. So I didn't know where I was going, to be honest. But I think now he's that's no longer his path.
Nice.
So, and this is one of the few characters I didn't multi-class. So
Yeah. You guys actually, you stayed pretty much everybody, in your lane, so to speak, class-wise. You didn't have a whole lot of overlap, so
Yeah.
it's
For me,
great.
it's actually funny because this is one of the few ones I actually did multi-class, and most of the time
Mhm.
I actually avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So I just wanted to see, before we go into the what is to come for your characters, I wanted to see kind of where you guys were as to when you built them, so many levels ago, and now coming in. It's crazy how you have a thought of how that character is going to be, and then story changes, because you really do influence the story, and the story influences you. So
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't met Larden in the story, I don't think I probably would have dipped
into
another
Wizard.
class.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was a hot second there. I was thinking about taking some artificer levels as well. I decided to stay pure wizard.
Nice. Yeah, so, well, let's just go ahead then, and it has been some time since you guys made your way back to Candlekeep. You have been able to put to rest the information that you had acquired within your last mission, and you've helped to oversee, as well as take care of getting books put back to that you guys had dealt with, kind of gone over and given a report to the Avowed, as to all of the jobs you had accomplished here. In this time also, Bludger, you continue to work on your book, as it is almost ready for publication, as you finally found the people to be the models for the cover art, and yeah, it is almost ready for mass production. It seems that Bludger might have to go on a book tour.
You'll have the black sweater with the glasses, the turtleneck. That's right,
Mhm.
the black turtleneck.
Still no pants?
Only because they probably would look at him weird if he was signing at a book signing with no pants.
I mean, they're gonna look at you weird anyway.
True.
So this is what I'm asking. So, with that,
I'm envisioning Dwayne Johnson with the fanny pack.
pretty much the barbarian version of that. Yes.
Mhm.
You always
Yes.
have like the short wild man, like they're not a loincloth, but like that kind of just small, ample amount of clothing. Gotta leave the legs free, man. You gotta feel the breeze.
Yeah, you're totally doing this in the, what is it called, the summer attire for the nobles, when they're they're actually shorts, but they're still the same material as regular slacks. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So, Bludger, well then, since we have started with you, what is your plan? What does Bludger do after everything has been taken care of here at Candlekeep on the adventuring side?
After the initial campaign adventure, he would resume not only work on his book, getting it ready for publication, but also continuing to fill his new bar in Candlekeep with all of the unused magic items and stuff that he doesn't actively use to kind
Uh-huh.
of decorate. Like when you go to restaurants, they have like the themes and whatnot. So there's all these trophies everywhere. Basically trying to become the most popular tavern / restaurant in Candlekeep, featuring
Easily so.
yeah, decorating it. You know, you got the mural up there of him pulling the sword out of the stone, and Starflower like on her knees, just kind of like in that whole hand up, like worshiping the visage of shirtless Bludger.
What is the tavern's name? I don't remember.
Pop-up.
Oh, the pop-up. That's right.
Also has the singular pillar with the seat at the it's overlooking the rest of the tavern. It's pretty high up. Let's say about a good 20 feet off the ground. Got a lot of cushions up there, a table. He calls it the crow's nest for Hush. But, it's like Hush's own private and yeah, he's just kind of focusing on being a business owner for the time being.
Okay. Nice. Let's see, who would like to go next, actually?
We're doing the full 9, then there's a little extra part. Are we doing the whole thing?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We're talking like in the couple of months to a year following coming back from the adventure.
I guess I can go. I mean, mine's fairly simple. I'm a simple, tinkerer. I worked on my armor a little bit more at Candlekeep during the little downtime, and kept researching, looking for places where mithril has been found or built, or anywhere that I might find more knowledge of that. And caught a boat to Cholt for a little while. I'd heard there was possible rumors of mithril there, and while there, got in contact with the paladin and managed to trade a few items for some information, and helped him build some stuff that he needed for his equipment, and maybe worked with some of the princes at the port to see if they knew any knowledge of mithril on Cholt. Not a whole lot going on there that wise, and
no, there's not.
After a short time there, worked my way back to coast, and went to Waterdeep, where there was a cleric there that had run into the storm giants, and thought maybe that might be a lead into some of the mountains in the realm where mithril was. So did a little bit of exploring through the mountains there, searching for mithril and traces of information of how to build it.
Nice.
After a while, probably worked my way back to Candlekeep just to check on my friends. Or, just random adventuring, knowledge seeking for the most part, though.
Okay. All right. Who would like to go next? So we're talking, like I said, 6 months to a year following your last adventure.
Well, Hush can go.
Okay.
I'll speak for him.
Okay, that's a good plan.
Okay. Hush
is his own bard now.
It's true facts.
So Hush still has an obligation to Geomander. So he will either go back to Kalimshan, which is a heck of a trip, or send somebody trusted to take back whatever he's collected. You know, he was scribing texts that he could find and other things for Geomander, and also he's also interested in researching obtaining some means of flying.
Okay.
So that's what he'll spend his time doing.
Okay. There are moments, since Bludger does know about you, wanting to fly, there's times that Bludger has offered to, throw you, and you can fly that way. Not exactly what I don't think that's exactly what you had in mind, but
No.
it is a thing. That, because let's be real, that is totally something Bludger would do. He's just helping. Okay. Cooper, what is Star doing in the 6 months after the adventure?
During the 6 months, 2 years or so, Star, after having a couple of drinks, she just went over the adventure, see how far she got with these guys. And she really liked the adventure. She go to enjoy the time she had with the guys. Especially Bludger, especially him. Ugh. But anyway, Star really likes how the adventure went, and Bludger make his own book. Why can't I make one of my own? So she secretly started making her own book about the time we spent together.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Oh, good lord.
All knew she loved me.
Yeah.
How did this become a publishing company now?
Well, it's Candlekeep.
I know, but yeah. Bludger wrote his own book. Now Star's gonna write her own book. And Tor says that she's helping. Apparently Tor's character is going to be the publication assistant or manager or whatever. Sure. We'll go with that.
Royalties.
Yeah, hey, gotta make that money somehow.
Quill's Publishing Company sounds like
Quill's Publishing Company. That sounds like a good plan. Oh, Tor says she was looking for the models of for the front of Bludger's book. Gotta get those models right. All right. So, well, then that leaves Steve, I believe.
I haven't gone.
And Andrew, yeah.
Let's go ahead and Steve. Let's Steve go. Mine's probably long.
Yours is long, yes, I'm sure. So, Steve, what would you do? What's your person?
Rycanis would have elected to stay in the not employ, but the use of the library with their adventures in finding books and helping other adventurers stay alive.
Okay.
He would lend his disciple of Torminess to any of those venturing into hostile places for the good of Candlekeep. So yeah, he never did find the one-armed assassin who smelled of pine needles, but then he's not done looking yet. So
that's true.
But other than that, he would still keep trudging on.
Okay.
And then hitting the bath and steam house every time he came back, and toying with the dwarven armor that he found with the story seekers.
Okay. All right, Andrew.
Yeah. So after the thing with the Lichen Lich, Larden gets pretty introspective and decides that he isn't going to take a vow and become one of the Avoweds like he thought he originally was going to do, and so he resigns from that and tells the fam that he's going to go back to Waterdeep where he grew up and try to put his power to good use. So he heads to Waterdeep and he buys an old warehouse, and this warehouse is where he used to sleep as a kid when he was a street kid. He used to sneak into it and sleep in one of the crates there. And so he buys this warehouse, and he actually converts it into like a school slash like boarding house for street kids in Duckboard. And so he takes them in and teaches them how to read and write, and connects them to jobs and things and apprenticeships. So that if they have any talent, he might even teach them some magic. But most of the year is spent kind of getting all that set up and getting that building protected and warded, and specifically to be a safe space in there in Wannabe. And on his off days, or when he can, he still comes back to Candlekeep because he needs spells, or he finds an old book, or what have you, or he just wants an excuse to come drop in and see Bludger. And so he is back and forth between Candlekeep and Waterdeep fairly frequently. But he spends his time doing that. He blows off a couple of invitations from places like the Arcane Brotherhood and other groups, and establishes this what essentially amounts to an orphanage in Waterdeep, which is where he lives now, and that's what he's doing. That's what he does for the next year.
Okay.
But yeah, he comes through a lot. He comes through Candlekeep a lot.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. Okay. Now, does anybody have any plans of what they would do maybe a little further out from the 6 months to a year? As we get to that point and everything seems to be still going quite well, in that your assistance does not seem to be needed right now. It seems that they have, with the help of Rycanis, the Avowed have been able to find another set of adventurers to send out to deal with some other book issues that they have found. There's, Bludger, your book becomes published, and you set off on a distribution tour, as it were. You are now the king of Musclemancy. Is there anything that anyone would like to do further out than the 6 months to a year? Is there any long-term goals?
Yeah, I think at some point Larden would want to reconnect with everybody if he was distant from anybody. He would scry on them with that orb and then just teleport to them or send them, word or what have you. So he would definitely want to keep in touch. And if there was any danger or any problems in Waterdeep surrounding his venture, he would definitely reach out to the crew if the need was there. And he would make sure that everybody knew that if there was any trouble, they could, of course, find him. And he would show everybody that he'd set himself up to where he could leave and take some time away from what he was doing to come help them out. So, but yeah, that's what he's doing. He would just continue to refine and build up that place.
Okay. What is the name of the school that is now officially established?
Yeah, he named it Thunderwing Hall. So he named it after the fairy.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Bludger, how does your book tour go?
I'd say it would be met with reasonable success. I think had it not been for the adventures and such, I wouldn't have gotten too much money and fine, but given the series of adventures and monsters and beasties and things we went after, that the reputation kind of helped sell the book.
Okay.
I'll say it went reasonably well.
Okay. And what do you do after your book tour?
So, when he gets back to Candlekeep, having left Bob in charge, Bob's down, found that business was up, because Bob is a hell of a business stone. And let's see. You have a token, by chance?
I do have a token.
So, while he's gone, there would have been a new patron of the bar, Devin, a regular, and Folk could get here. And when he comes back, having seen said patron, Susan could blow it up. Or
I
put
will.
it out
Right.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So, in true Bludger fashion, since everyone he met tried to kill him, boom, new patron of the bar, a fancy Norse lady named Saris. And if you're thinking to yourself, Bludger, that's a bloody succubus. Well, you'd be right. It is. A succubus who happens to be a very, very competent wizard of the arcane variety. Not so much of the slashy, but a reformed one, so she's good, hence she is allowed to stay. And seeing said flower, nice bed in his bar, Bludger would have immediately gravitated towards her and eventually started dating her, although enthused that she does not try to kill him or harvest his organs, or take his soul, or things that all the women in his life has tried to do to him over the years. Right, very much upgrade over the egg. So eventually, Saurus would kind of take over the bookkeeping for the bar. This wizards are smart. He heard that somewhere. And every wizard he meets happens to be smart. You know, there's Quill, Lawden, although he makes some interesting choices sometimes. Gotta do more push-ups, mate. Gotta get them abs. All 6 of them. But anyway, after a year or so of dating Saurus, Bludger would not retire altogether from adventuring, but when she starts showing a little bit of a curve in the hip stomach region, he would want to hang back a bit. So while he would be fully vested in helping Lord whenever he popped in, defending the realms and whatnot, eventually he would decide that starting and protecting his family at home would mean more to him than running around carousing with the fellas. Sorry, Starflower. You missed your chance. You had it. You had your opportunity and you blew it, mate. That's okay. There'll always be a place for you to pop up. So,
oh, woe is me. Oh, woe is me.
So eventually, the tavern would become kind of the central place. So anyone, you know, it's weird because he notices after a while of being at home that these random strangers from all walks of life would seem to kind of just meet at this bar and then for some reason go on adventures together and then get a name and then come back to the bar. And it's like every time they come in, some random person walks in needing something done and off they go again. It's weird. He doesn't understand it. It's always the bar, but it's good business. Draws profits up. Sauce is happy. And eventually, he would become a full-blown dad of a little tiefling boy. Not sure how that works, but you know, touch bar, fiend as such. And said boy would show a penchant, the fancy word he learned, for the arcane arts. So he would name, because there's a couple people in his life he knows are good with that kind of thing, he would name Lawden the godfather to his child in case something ever happens to him and Saurus.
He would happily accept and would give that kid his first spell book if he became a wizard.
He definitely would later on. And strangely enough, while his mom uses books and such, and he can definitely read from books, for whatever reason, he seems to be very proficient with the use of a blade when it comes to spell casting. But I'm not really sure how that works, but there could be more on that way later down the line in future adventures at Susan Runs.
In case you didn't get the context there, yeah. Mm-hmm. Son of Bludger to be brought up later.
Don't forget Pierce. She's still running around out there causing mayhem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So now we know what happens to Bludger. And he did do an upgrade from the hag. That is for sure. For sure.
Woman who doesn't try to
depends
kill
on your point of view.
The point of view that what happened after the hag showed her true face.
Well, I'm just saying that some people might like hags.
He did.
She was looking like a moon elf, it doesn't count.
She was so
And
nice.
it's funny because whenever they're arousing drunks who start singing tavern songs, there's always that one that starts the song of Bludger the Hag Smasher.
Is it you? Is it you that always starts that one?
Yep, right here.
I was gonna say, is it you or is it Bob that always starts that one?
He's gonna blame it on Bob.
Okay, that's fair.
I think at some point, Larden does try to track down like what his mom's fate might have been, or if she actually made it or survived. He wouldn't really even know what she looked like anymore. She turned him out when he was so young. But he would probably, when he's a guy with means, now he's got money and power, he could probably find her if she's still kicking. I'm not sure if she is not, but I think that's the thing that he could probably
Give me a. You know what? We're gonna roll some dice. Let's see how this works. Roll me a D100.
Sure.
Let's find out if she's alive or not. Oh, that was a pretty roll. She is not.
Yeah. All right. So did you find out that she's passed?
You do. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's pretty sad about that, but he comes to terms with it. So that was a hard one for him to get through. Yeah. Eventually, he will tell people. He'll share what happened to him with Bludger and anybody else who's at the bar about his youth at some point. But which is mostly he got turned out when he was 10. His mom, who was a working lady in Dockwood, couldn't feed him anymore and turned him out when he was 10. And so he was a street kid from like 10 to 15 until he stole from the wrong wizard and picked the wrong pocket, basically rolled a guy in an alley. And that guy is who brought him in and sort of indentured him to pay off his debt. And that's where he learned magic. And that guy got snapped up by a guild because he had a gambling problem. So Larden didn't really have family. And he eventually comes through and says that until he met the Story Seekers. So, and that's how he sees the party. But yeah, he looks for his mom and he doesn't do it. He will buy that house as well eventually, the one that they lived in. And that's sort of like where he'll like stay when he wants to be on his own. That's where he'll like set up a lab and stuff and whatnot.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any long-term plans, things that you guys would do?
Well, you know, Kinku are cursed with a lack of creativity.
They are. Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, I'm not going to come up with some crazy tale of, you know, becoming a Raven centerfold model or anything like that. Hush is acclimated to serving people, doing things for folks. He's made quite a heck of a living helping the Candlekeep folks. So he'll probably stick to something like that.
Okay.
He's, and he's not very particular about who he's helping. So
okay,
it's hard for him sometimes to discern, and he's not always. It's more a matter of whim than no overbearing want to do the right thing. So
because you want to help at Candlekeep, they actually take you up on your offer, and you are put in charge of the books that fight back. Whenever they bring in the new books and the process of making sure what kind they are or whatnot. Anytime anything fights back, you are called in to deal with it. So hopefully it's not too often, but it is an interesting job title, because I mean you are aware that sometimes books do in fact fight back. You have seen it firsthand.
Sure. Well, he's going to want a little more action than that, so he might start some of his own.
There you go. Well, there's always, the pop-up dealing with Bludger and his bar as well.
Hush can be more bouncy.
There you go.
I get too rowdy.
And if Bludger says they're too rowdy, you know there's a problem. Okay. So, Star, do you ever go back? Do you ever find the book and go back?
Well, after a while, with Quail's help, I was able to make a good book, and the title is The Full Season of the Story Seekers.
Okay.
After Fire got it finished, Star will give it to a copy to her sister and it's read to the Feywild to tell about my adventures with my friends.
Nice. Just out of curiosity, fiction or nonfiction?
A
Little bit of both?
A little bit of both, yes.
Okay.
There's some truth in there, but some, a little likewise to spice things up a bit more.
Okay. Just checking. Just checking. Okay.
And after a while, if the book was gratefully successful in the Feywild,
Mhm.
Star will head back there and, spend her days just chill around.
Okay. So roll me a D100 to see how well your book was received in the Feywild.
Oh boy.
38.
Okay. Seems to like it's not bestseller, list thing, but it doesn't seem like it's booed either. So that's pretty good.
It's like the book you see in the airport gift shops that you kind of stop in and pick up for the flight.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I accept that.
Where's this airport you speak of? This is where Hush wants to go.
That is where Hush wants to go. He wants to learn how to fly. Learn at the airport. Yes. Very cool. You do better on the material plane than you do in the Feywild on this book, though. And it actually ends up actually, I do have a question, Star. Do you include everybody by name? Or have the names been changed? What's the sentence? Have the names been changed to protect the innocent?
Or protect the guilty.
Or
I
yeah,
don't know if Bludger can be considered innocent in anything.
it's true. Do you use their actual names or do you change the names?
Star thinks about it, and out of the dice roll,
Okay.
odds yes, evens no.
Okay. That sounds good. Go for it. All right. So you use their real names.
Well, except for one.
Oh.
I think you know which one is.
I do. I'm pretty sure I do.
Should always include Lord and don't make him live out.
Yeah, freeze me out of your story. You're killing me, Smalls.
Ron, what's going on?
The reason I ask is because if you use their real names, this would very much help the book sale of Bludger's book. So.
Cross marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And your book too. They know that the legendary King Bludger was in your book.
Larkin buys a bunch of copies of both of them and gives them out to people on one of these. He just
nice.
buys a case of both. You guys should read this. It's great stuff.
All right.
I feel like at the tavern there'd be a little stand at the front next to the
book
counter
stand?
by Bob. Book stand. He'd carry a couple copies of Starflower's book.
Especially because they have stories about you.
Unrelated.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay. Well then, Hush, can you give me an intelligence check, please?
Intelligence check. Gee,
You were rolling things that you don't get to normally roll, so I'm trying to help you out with this.
Okay. Well, the check is going to
Just-
be better.
yeah.
Than that,
Uh-huh.
but not. Oh, that's a save. I'm sorry. Let me roll that. There we go.
Okay. You
Oh man.
you are convinced, like, you're trying to figure out how learn to fly and stuff on your own, and you are having so much trouble trying to learn this that you just it's taking a whole lot longer than it normally probably would have. You are reading books, you are, trying to hunt down a magic item, something. But unfortunately, you don't share your need with any of your party members, so they don't end up helping you to search this out. So
Okay.
it seems like flight is a hopeless instance at this moment.
Then he'll leave Candlekeep,
Okay.
searching for
Okay.
the answer.
All right.
Didn't also just make him a pair of boots of flying?
Had
So
you
yeah,
thought
if he shared with me, I would definitely.
that was what the intelligence check was to try to to think about saying something to either of your two wizarding friends. Mhm.
As an artificer, I should be able to manufacture magic items with the right components.
Uh-huh.
I imagine in a year I could collect those things. So.
You
Yes.
could.
It's an uncommon item, so it's not even that expensive.
No.
Not that
So-
expensive.
So
But we
with
didn't run across anything like that during the adventure, did we?
No.
no.
I don't think I need to come across it to make it. I mean, I
You-
know in AL rules you kind of do,
Well,
but
I'm just saying that Hush wouldn't have been exposed to it.
well,
But
I
you
have
could-
boots of flying that I wear, so you would have seen me with my infused boots.
That's true. And Lauren wore those for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you just flew.
No, Larkin was wearing the boots that he made for him. I saw him as a pair of like Converse sneakers, wings on the side.
Right.
But yeah, he used to fly around with those all the time.
And I would definitely convert those bracers, the temporary bracers that I made you, Hush. I would take the gold and the materials and actually make you a real set of bracers of defense, so that if we're not around each other, they wouldn't, because my infusions only last as long as you're with me on the day. Like if we parted
Right.
ways after a few days, they would disappear.
Yep. Yes. Hush, at one point, you do on your travels, looking around, as you kind of venture out, being frustrated that you can't figure out this, you do come across a kind of think along the lines of the traveling salesman kind of situation, and he's that guy that has all the weird colored potions. I got what you need. I got and he does give you a potion that will allow you to fly. However, it's not a actual potion of flying. It is a potion of gaseous form, but it will allow you to fly as a potion or as a gaseous form.
Okay.
It's a start.
Well,
But you
there
do
are
end
going
up
to
with
be
that.
a lot of dead bodies out there because of Hush.
That's fair.
They're almost anybody, and it's a speciality.
Okay. Yeah. Eventually, upon coming back to Candlekeep, you do say something to Orsic, and you are able to acquire a pair of winged boots.
Oh,
Thanks to Orsic being able to make them you can use the boots to fly for up to 4 hours all at once, or several shorter flights. Each one using a minimum of 1 minute for the duration.
I've been spending my whole life looking for a staff of the Magi. I'm kidding.
That'll take me a while if you wanted me to make one of those. I don't know
I
if
was
can
gonna
do
say
that one.
that would be a thing. But the other thing that you find, let's see here, on your trip around, looking for things that can make you fly and make you make that be a thing. You also find one other item, and it's kind of cool when you are working here at Candlekeep. You saw a gentleman who had it, and upon admiring it, they actually end up selling it to you, and that is the Cloak of the Bat. It is very much a cloak appropriate for Hush.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That was really cool.
Yep. So with that, you have 2 items that do allow you to fly.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Staff of the Magi is just not going to happen today.
That's a shot. That's a shot.
Mm-hmm. Bludger.
What?
As a wedding present, you receive a pretty interesting looking clay jug that is beautifully decorated and has what looks like a group of adventurers on it. About the right, I mean, it doesn't have like super intense detail, but looking at the shapes of the people on it and the design on the background, it looks as if it is the story seekers standing in front of the Candlekeep Library Emerald Door.
Hey, who's it from?
There is no name.
That's a nice gift. If
The
you have
next
to,
time that Orsic and Larden walk in, they both recognize the jug immediately for what it actually is. Are you ready?
it was.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh, I'm very ready.
Orsic, are you ready? Because we've been talking about this for a while.
Right.
Oh,
Matter which color is it, right?
I'm totes ready.
It is an alchemy jug.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
Filling liquid, 12 pans with a full empty, sloshing to be here.
So you can make beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar, water, salt water, or wine.
I heard beer and a lot of gibberish that came after it.
Beer and mayonnaise. Mm-hmm.
The mayonnaise is just like the weirdest thing ever. Like,
but if you think about it, it's not.
Yeah, eat sandwiches, man. It's like great.
I mean,
Dude.
It's useful for sure.
2 gallons of it, not as much at one time. Yeah. Yeah.
Not at one time, no.
Yeah.
I get it. It's basic. It's oil and eggs. It's actually, for survival food, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of I would hate for Starflower to get a hold of that jug and have access to 2 gallons of mayonnaise at a command.
Right. Right.
Come on, but he would eventually, his dad would become famous for his Hunka Hunka Burning Love, which is his famous spicy chili.
Okay.
Requires a constitution save every time you eat it. It's not for the faint of heart.
Of course it does.
Probably have like an annual competition at your pop-up.
Mm-hmm.
And who can eat the most of it?
Right.
Invite Lawden to redeem himself after what happened last time.
He eats that shit like it's going out of style. He loves it.
Spent the whole night casting fireballs.
Yeah, we're proficient in Constitution saves now as a result. So that's the poisoning led to a stronger stomach.
That's funny. That's funny. All right. So, Star, in your time, in your travels, after you finished up with the Story Seekers and before you went to the Feywild, you actually end up with this group of, farmers and the like, and you are given a ring for the help that you gave them in appreciation. And you are given a Ring of the Ram.
Ooh.
It has 3 charges, regains 1d3 extended charges daily at dawn. Yeah. You can make a spectral ram's head and make it attack.
Ooh.
Mhm.
That'd be interesting for the sailors as well.
Nice.
Yep.
I could think of some lovely points for this one, but
Right. Okay.
but I do have a gift for the wife. If you saw that, Susan.
I did.
And I haven't told her while Bludger's not looking, just in case he gets to a handful.
Oh.
He's going to get 2 handfuls later, man. That's the whole point of the wedding
Hell.
run.
And my gift for her was, well, basically a bat says too much horny.
You're giving the succubus a bet for too much horny. Is it for me or her?
That's a good question. That is a good question. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Orsic. There is one thing that you found in all of your travels that you picked up because it's just cool, and it does thunder damage much like your gauntlets do, and you have found a Horn of Blasting.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that would definitely fit well with my equipment.
So each when this is blown, it emits a thunderous blast in a 30-foot cone that is audible 600 feet away. Each creature in the cone would have to do a save, and a fail save takes 5d6 thunder damage and is deafened for 1 minute. But you each time you use it, there's a 20% chance of causing it to explode.
That it's a constant reminder to how I ended up losing my leg, blowing up my father's smith.
Exactly.
So,
Didn't Lawden
yeah,
find one of
definitely
those?
fits well.
I don't think so.
No.
I have it written down. We found a loot at some point that we didn't pick up.
You
but we
did find a loot. You found
Free Liar, I think it was, or something like that.
yes.
If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't know what.
Yeah. All right. Rycanis, on your travels with the other adventuring parties, in some of the travels, you guys ended up, bringing back some pretty awesome stuff for the library. And as payment for bringing stuff back and for assisting those adventurers, you were given an item that they had recovered on your last excursion. And that
Ooh.
is Boots of the Winterlands.
Oh, very nice.
So you have resistance to cold damage, you ignore difficult terrain created by ice or snow, and you can tolerate temperatures as low as negative 50 degrees without any additional protection. So
That is fantastic.
Mhm.
Nice, very nice.
You ever venture to the northern 10 towns? Those,
Right.
Oh god.
Definitely
True
love
fact.
those on Thursdays.
Do I hear Icewind Dale calling?
You might, well, that was, it was headed north where you found them, so.
Very nice, thank you.
All right. The other item that you guys do end up being brought into the tavern is a censer. Yeah, it is brought in, and yeah, you have a censer of controlling air elementals as a
That's a
thank
good
you gift from the library.
I'm sorry, was that for me?
That was for whomever.
For whomever.
For whomever.
Cool.
That's a good one.
That is good.
Yep.
Is that your use as your bouncer at your pop-up bar there?
Maybe. All right.
Or the babysitter when you're
Right. It's to keep Bob company.
Why did he have to name?
I don't know.
It's annoying. No, it's not. It's fine. But I get. I'm like, wait, no, they're not talking about me.
All right. So with that, we do in fact come to an end with all of this. But I do want to say thank you so much to my players. You guys are awesome, and it has been so much fun to run this through and see the difference of, a slightly not quite connected series of adventures, but see what it took for you to try and get through it as a group and bond as a group. Now, going forward, we will be bringing part of this group together for some more one-shot stuff. So keep in mind that this is not the complete end to the Story Seekers. They may adventure together going forward a little bit, but as the official party for Candlekeep Mysteries, this is the end of this adventure.
So Susan, I've got a question for you. Did this adventure turn out how you thought it would when
That's a
you
good question.
start running?
That is a good question. Kind of. I mean, there were some things that I was not expecting, and I mean, there was also some things that I totally expected to happen that did, like Bludger trying to ride everything that he could. But
yeah, that's canon for sure.
Yeah, totally.
I almost picture those little the bowls that you see in the bars. Like it's got to have one of those in this pop up, right?
Well, he does have the blink dog that is destroying all of the things. Yes, so don't forget he does have a blink dog.
There was also having access to the most powerful spell in all of D&D and using it on a pop-up book.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
yes. That was crazy. That was really crazy. Some of the actual adventures themselves were different than I thought they were gonna be. Some didn't kind of disappointing in conclusions. Like the lead up's there and then falls flat. But you know, so the adaptation of that kind of was a little weird. But as a party of adventurers, yeah, you guys totally went where I hoped you would.
I'll say some of the earlier ones were kind of like you said, they kind of fell a little flat. Like the I forget, it was like one of the like maybe 3 or 4 where we were like in like this town that had been like it had a haunted voice in a well. All these like these phantom ghosts, and there were like these werecrows, but nothing actually
came of it
with any of it. Yeah, right. I was like, here is like all this ambiance. And okay, cool. It's going to be like this ghost encounter, and then it's like, and now you're done. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, most of them had decent, hooks and whatnot. But yeah, there was a couple where you're kind of like, what?
Yeah, and yeah, it made it like the very final adventure. I was kind of disappointed because, the obvious choice is to go straight down the middle, and then if that's where you find the big boss, then why would you put their office over there? You put it in.
Yeah, I was thinking if you're going to put that big boss anywhere, you're going to put him through that mushroom ring. You're going to put him in the abyss.
That
was a mistake on the office part, because that is like that's a big foreboding evil. That's the thing the players should have to discover. They have to go through.
Right.
Like you want to find him, you got to go through there, or you kill him here, and then you got to go there to destroy the factory.
Or putting you guys out in the middle of a plane where you can't get back. That was
that one kind of locked us up. It's like, well, okay, well now what do we do?
Yeah, if you didn't have a wizard that could actually potentially cast that spell, no.
You would have to find like somebody in the Elysium fields, like a planetar.
Yeah, but there was not a thing.
You have to just say that somebody kind of keeps scried on our location and then sent like a rescue party.
Right.
I think with like the mummy one, like the ones that involve like the liches where you encounter them early, I think they should have had them maybe sped up a timer for their regeneration, because I feel like we beat the mummy and then that was kind of like the end of that one. I mean, we had to run around and figure out the jars and whatnot, but it didn't really feel like we were like the threat of fighting a lich,
right,
or a mummy lich, because like you killed it and then it's just you have days before you get it. We're obviously going to figure this out before days passed. I don't know.
Right.
The lich
There's some restrictions with Adventures League too. Like we destroyed that Draco Lich, and when we were in that temple inside the Wings, right? That blue Draco Lich, and that like vowed revenge. With Adventures League, unless that thing pops up again, you can't really like close that loop,
right?
Because you're supposed to play through like official content. And so, like, if that doesn't happen in your official content, then, like, what do you do about that loose end,
Yeah, and the Dracolich just disappeared, right? It never actually came back. I don't remember.
Nope.
No, but it certainly told us that it was gone. It definitely was like...
Yeah.
I mean, the Candlekeep book stories were great. I think if you're just running your own homebrew or running any of the other campaigns, I think they're just good.
Drop it in,
throw in there, right?
Yeah.
You need to make a new NPC, bad guy or something, right?
Yeah.
I also think that, like, sorry, go ahead.
Also, they seem like they pull that a lot. Like on Saturday's game, it's like we had this big battle with a Serac, and then he just dimension doors out, and okay, well, that's the end of the adventure. Like, well, that's not really a satisfying ending. Like, he vows revenge and then runs away. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's not. That sucks.
Yeah, there needs to be a clue that says, okay, where do you go? We need to
where do you go? Yeah.
Right?
How does that elevate the threat? One of the things I think that Candlekeep could have used, and this is certainly not anybody's fault but the books, is like a set of NPCs that were consistent people that we've worked with throughout. If that made sense. Linking one. I understand the book wasn't written to be necessarily a campaign linked one to the other. But linking one story to the next, so that we would have like people that we would have been attached to. So when that lady got taken away to the monk temple and got her organs removed and stuff, that would have been a friend of ours. You know what I mean? Like somebody that we've worked with a long time, and we would have had that would have heightened those stakes in those moments. But again, that's not how the book is.
No, but
is
they
written.
made it so that you could, and that should have been an option for
Yeah.
Like there could have been like somebody in Candlekeep, like a Lemony Snicket type character, right? That's constantly putting these books out there, and you're having to basically solve the problems and figure out who's bringing all these books into Candlekeep at the to link them together.
I will say that the last few adventures were, I thought, really, really good. So, like, they were my favorites so far. Like, once we hit tier 3, things really started taking off in very interesting ways. I especially like the Feywild one, where we were dealing with the Archfey. I thought that was a pretty epic fight, and that was a pretty epic, like, timer and intense, like, ticking clock on the party. I mean, I suspect that everybody's supposed to get hit with that. I just happened to make it so that it was just me. But I suspect, like, in the book probably assumes that everybody gets hit with it. And then everybody's got to run out and do this thing. And I thought that was a really good ticking clock and a really good, like, intense one. And then I thought all those last, like, 3-4 adventures were probably the strongest ones.
I think,
even the one early on where we rode the dragon up to the mountains.
That was cool. With the monks?
The floating and the monks. Yeah, those were all pretty good stories.
Yeah, I think that the turning point was the one with like the day spa and like the 3 hags that took over. Not just because what happened, not just because what happened with Bludger thing, but I think like that was like the turning point where like the adventure started to get a little more interesting, because some of the other ones feel kind of dry, and it's like just a lot of exposition without a lot of action to kind of balance it out. So it's like, like the one we spent like 3 hours walking up and down a house, and then adventure's over. It's like, oh well, that great. But like the spa, the thing with the dragon flying, fighting the entire school of monks.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Those were all pretty well thought out. A little bit of everything going on there. They were good.
That monk fight was ridiculous.
Wait, the monks? Are you kidding me? We basically sneak in and had to start the fight at the very middle of it.
Yeah, we upped the ante on that adventure for sure.
You did.
The entire zone. It was like EverQuest back in the old days when somebody would run through Butcher Block Mountains and pull like 6,000 orcs behind them and kill everybody in the zone. Like that is what we did to ourselves.
He pulled the EverQuest card. God damn,
I did.
But it's like we just run in there and try to sneak around, and it's like, oh, we should have just taken them out one group at a time. Instead, we're literally surrounded by, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon over here, and his disciple that has unlimited key points. Like, oh.
You mean you should have done it like it said to do that in the adventure? Oh, that's a good idea.
No, right. Instead, we're like, no, we're good. You just let us in.
I love making 4 deck saves per turn. Like,
right.
That was our top 3 in our top 3 hardest fights. What do you guys think the hardest fight was? The closest we came to like screw. What do you think the hardest one was?
I want to say it was the Archfey fight with the god they were trying to summon.
She's
that
pretty
was
rough.
the closest I came to getting
down. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
From my standpoint, I would say the monk fight, because I was rolling like shit.
I would say the hardest fight. It was one of the ones where there was just 4 of us that night, but it was against the Archmage. That was the harboring the. It was when we were trying to free the genie that was in the book, and we went down and we had like 2 or 3 LMLs and an Archmage in the room, and Orsic went down like twice in that fight. Got knocked down twice and almost killed by one of the elementals.
Too early on,
yeah. I'm going to change my answer, because the Archfey was really high up there. That one was up there. I think the hardest fight we had was when Larden got cursed by the book, and we had to fight like 14 mummy lords and like 4 golems.
Those were just regular mummies. They weren't mummy lords. They were just regular mummies. They just kept coming.
Well, that was rough.
That was fun. I had a good time with that one.
Yeah, I'll bet you did.
I did.
What was the trap in that room, Susan? Do you remember? There was a lever by a painting of the Black Dragon, and me and Orsic looked at it and we're like, nope, and we noped out on it. What was that?
Um,
If we'd have pulled the lever, what would have happened? Do you know?
I don't remember. Give me a second, and I will see if I can find. Let's see. Was it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah. Wait. Nope, not that one. That was the monk fight. I don't remember.
What's the name of the adventure? It was
No, I got that. I just gotta find it. Okay. So that was in the. Yeah, it was the Scavenger's Tale, but I gotta figure.
yeah.
Let's see. That was in the final room. Let's see. It would have lowered the ceiling.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
So she couldn't have gotten as high up.
Oh no, it wasn't in her room. It was in it was in the hallway.
Like
Oh,
mural.
the
There was a
hallway.
mural in
there was a mural.
That's right. That's
There was
right.
a dragon attacking in the mural.
Oh, yeah. No, that will summon the dragon.
Oh,
Oh jeez. Yeah, that would have really upped the fight.
Mhm.
A black
Yeah.
dragon.
Did we fight just a normal dragon at all in the course of the campaign? We didn't, did we? Just
No.
the Draco Lich.
You interacted with
you
was it like a
interacted
blue
with
dragon or
the one in the cave
And a dragon turtle.
and a
Very
dragon
fast
turtle.
as-
Mm-hmm.
dragon turtle.
The only dragon we certify is the Draco Lich.
Mhm.
That's the only one we faced.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it-
the only one you actually fought. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, you guys you did well in the avoiding some of the things, but yeah, so that was what room number was that? That's 5.
It'd be interesting to see how some of those encounters would have went had we not had the Ashy and Pups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those definitely came in the clutch.
Oh, for
Those
sure. Yeah.
that dragon in that mural was an adult black dragon.
Oh, nice. That'd have been a fun fight.
Mm-hmm.
Golems, a dragon, a bunch of zombies. Yeah, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Mummies, I should say, mummies.
Yeah. The fight within her room, within the library of that one was pretty cool because I literally kept throwing Larden across the room. And then go over and see him, and that had everything to do with the fact you were the only one with marks,
Right.
because it specifically said she goes after the one with marks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my biggest issue is they did, like, even with that fight, some of the big bads were just super underpowered.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I think that there were some bosses that were good and right, but I think some of them needed some help. Like I think she needed a stronger, like just general.
Yeah, well,
just
to
like a
be
stronger claw, a sword or something.
to be like, Tor and I had talked about this afterwards. To be as high a level of a whatever, you should know how to do firebolt.
An archfey is supposed to be the power equivalent of an archdemon. So, like you're talking like, Grozit and monsters and named beasts like that power level. So, yeah, she wasn't. I mean, arguably she'd been tracked for 1,000 years or whatever. So
Well, yeah, but even using the one from last week, the lich that you guys fought, she was super underpowered.
Yeah. I agree.
Like
the
her
Draco
only
Lich was really.
Yeah, her only cantrip she had was Druidcraft.
That's weak.
Yeah.
That's a I've looked at the DM rules for Adventurers League, and they say you can tweak it a little bit at the margins to make things more or less powerful.
Which I have in certain instances. I have, but like that one, I'm like, really?
Yeah, just giving her like a full
Druidcraft.
I'd
That's like
like to
giving
see her
your-
like grow a flower here.
I was
It's like
like,
giving your big bad like True Sight, or not True Sight, True Strike.
Right.
Right. Literally the
Well,
worst cantrip.
her other one was Pass Without Trace.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
She
at
did-
least that one
well,
could have been helpful.
plus
Yeah, I
10 spell.
suppose if you wanted to move her around the cave while we're doing our
Right.
thing, it would be helpful.
Right.
Or she
I mean,
could
like,
move
if
some
you
of her
can't-
bad guys around. But...
Yeah, if your
Mhm.
party doesn't happen to have somebody with Dispel Magic in it, then you can't get to the anti-life spell, but almost every party's going to have somebody with Dispel Magic.
But it was just,
So-
it was funny because I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, no, she, of the spells that she specifically has, she has one that she can do at will, and that's the cantrip. The rest of them have a certain limit of time she can do it. She's got 2 first level spells that she can do 3 times a day.
Mhm.
A second level that she can do 3 times a day. The rest of them she only do once a day. And it's really funny because of her spells, none of them do damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a druid from a background standpoint. I mean, there's a lot of things in 6th and level that are kind of at least battlefield control should have been had, right?
Yeah.
Druids are brutal. Like,
Yeah.
they can do all kinds of stuff. I mean, Firestorm is just one of many, many things.
That's
they
the
can
only
do.
thing that she had that was a spell that
Mhm.
did any damage, and she could only do it once.
I'm surprised she
Flames
didn't
strike.
just like summon a bunch of stuff. We had to like fight that while she's doing like
I thought about it.
AoE spells or
Yeah.
something in the back.
Yeah, I mean, there should have been like a summon fiend in there,
Mhm.
or a summon, something.
But she had an Elfeshi and a Trump. Those 2 things are pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Those are actually both nasty things. I expended, 8th level spell, 7th level spell, and like an elemental that did really well to kill that thing. But like, that's a nasty demon, and the Trent isn't a sort of pushover either. So
Yeah, but
Oh.
considering what level you guys were and the fact that she is the final book boss,
oh yeah, you could have
It
put
almost felt like the Behirs we fought before her were
we're a
Oh,
harder
they
fight.
not harder.
They were
right?
definitely harder.
Mhm. And it
you
had
could have put,
nothing to do with the fact that Bludger really wanted to ride one.
Mhm.
That's the thing,
So,
like,
but
even
Behirs
with-
are just freaking tough. I mean, those
They are.
once they eat you, they swallow you.
as he
Mhm.
found out.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
I
rode
think
lots of things from the inside.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the Draco Lich definitely didn't seem like it was as strong as it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
It had
remember
me-
particularly having to sweat through that fight too much.
It never breathed on us. That was one of the things. It never used its lightning breath. So, like, I think if it breathed on us once, that would have done a ton of damage. Hard to use in that way because
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of tight quarters. But
Yeah,
but
I
that's
thought
it.
it did breathe on us once.
No, it did a thing where it like bounced lightning. It's like 12d10 or whatever the hell adult.
Wasn't that a layer action? The bouncing way?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a layer action.
Mhm.
That was a
Oh,
layer
gotcha.
But it kept Larden pinned down pretty good with its Slayer actions. Like Larden could was
Mhm.
blind half the time and had a really hard time striking out at it. So it locked
Yeah.
it down pretty good that time.
Yeah.
I have to say, even some of those maps, they really did a good job of kind of restricting
Yes.
tactics and making
Mhm.
it much more difficult, which was good, right?
Yeah, that stuff was well designed, I thought.
Yeah, Sour doesn't have a lot of space to move out of the way and not getting hit. So
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah. No, it was definitely an interesting campaign. That's for sure.
I mean,
Oh, for
overall,
sure.
I think it was a lot of good short one shots.
Mhm.
It's just rough to play it as a full on back to back, right?
Right.
yeah.
But I think it was really really fun. I mean,
I really enjoyed this character. Like, I really enjoyed playing Larden. And having, I always look forward to Mondays all the time.
Yeah.
To be a chance to play. It was something I look forward to a lot.
Well,
I don't know if I'll ever play another Kenku.
yeah.
It's hard. It was always like a lot of work for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
those are hard when you're not in person, face to face, where you can kind of mime what's going on. You did a
Yeah.
great job though with your
Having the soundboard and stuff really made a difference.
Oh,
I
yeah.
took me a while to figure out what you were trying to tell us, but after a while, I started to pick up the cues of, oh, that's what this sound means, right? So you did a great
Mhm.
job with it, I thought.
Thanks. thanks.
Scraping the mold.
Yeah, yeah. That was one of my favorite ones to use. Or more vinegar than wine.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a good part.
That was one of, like, there's only a few people that I've had play Kenkus that have been, like, I would say successful at it. And I have to say, Bob, that you did a really good job with it.
Thanks. I wish I had a real soundboard that was separate from my computer.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a lot easier to use.
Yeah.
I think if I was going to do that, like I would be wanting to write down notes all the time, like tracking what everybody around me said. You know what I mean? Like that's hard. That's really hard. Like when you're on computer.
I didn't want to be mocking, like imitating somebody's what they said, except for Bludger in a couple of cases. But it's funny because the voice of the guy who kept the stores of the monastery was very similar to Bludger's voice, and that was just completely happenstance.
Yeah.
And I was hoping Matt Bludger that didn't think that I was imitating him.
No, it's fine. That is fine. I wasn't sure if I could carry that accent and cadence the whole campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they're going to hate me
You did
after a while.
really well with it. I mean, if I was to just come in and just listen to any of them, really, I wouldn't know that you were not kept up that character the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
Could have sworn you were from whatever region you sounded like, right? Yeah, you did a good job with it.
That was a great job.
Definitely pulling a Geico Gecko. Like, all right, is he Cockney or Australian? No one really knows. He just kind of does it.
Somewhere in there.
He's Bludger.
It's a little tricky. It's easy to slip from each one of those to the other.
Yeah. He's Bludger, so that's what he is.
Right. That was Bludgerese.
Bludgerese, that's what it is.
That's a perfect name for it.
Just wait till I get to Pierce. Pierce is like Bludger turned up by 10.
Yep. Yeah. But, well, thank you guys. I do really appreciate all of the roleplay, and don't worry, we are working on finding some other one shots for you guys to go on, as at least as a partial party, if not, the whole thing. But
if I'm doing this other thing on Monday, but feel free to use the pop-up as like the central meeting point. Bludger will just be in the background doing Bludger things. If there's ever a Monday where my thing is not going on, I wouldn't mind popping in to pop in. Wouldn't mind. I'm sure with a baby in the house, she's gonna need to get out every so often. Driving the wife crazy. So.
And Susan, I mean, you have other characters that have gone to tier 4 in other games that you've run, so it's possible we could do a little cross.
You could acquire friends.
Yeah.
You can get Jez.
Oh, that is not a good idea to grab the druid. Oh no, let's not put the druid from Fridays into the no.
I would love to see a high level druid. I don't think I've ever experienced anything over tier 3. So
she is the most unoptimal druid.
She is a druid. Yeah, no. Druid with no wisdom.
I played her in for part of adventure because is it Belinda? Is that her name? She wasn't there, and I was looking at her shit. I'm like, dear God, what am I even looking at? And it was great.
It's ridiculous. Yes, it's ridiculous. But all right, well, I think that pretty much covers it. Does anybody have anything else they would like to say about Candlekeep or about this party or whatnot before we put a close on this actual book adventure?
Just thank you for running it, and thank you guys for playing. It's been a really great time.
Yeah, I'd like to second that. You guys have been just an awesome group, and I'm looking forward to future adventures.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel the same. You guys are great.
Yeah.
You all look great. I can only say that my name is Dreomir Sizik von Dragoslav Valensky Sedimir Benish. But you can call me Bludger, doesn't all get angry, or when I'm around me friends, I'll get to bludgering.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and yeah, hang out for the what could happen with these band of adventurers in the future. But yeah, there are lots of things coming into DMS Adventures Tavern in 2022, and hopefully it will be a definitely lucky year for the tavern. And I know that we've got a big goal for Extra Life. We're going to have to start early again this next year, as we officially raised $2,000 for Extra Life this year, and I got to get more than that next year. So
What? You had 2,000 now?
we officially have $2,000. Yeah. Yep. We did. It's crazy. So officially, that's just, I'm still shocked. But just a reminder, this week there will be no other streams because of the Christmas holiday. And be on the lookout for next week to see what may come. But until then, thank you so much for everybody hanging out, as well as for our amazing band of adventurers, the Story Seekers. Thank you so much to my players, and let's go ahead and end this, and we will see you next time. If not on stream, come hang out in the tavern. Thanks, guys.